Back in February of 2014, I finally got to build my very first gaming rig. And I was so ecstatic, I was so happy because I was running just a laptop and the poor thing had, oh my god, 5 fans on it just to keep it cool, and to this day I don't know how it's still running. And it's like, oh my, I got this thing, I was like, that's awesome. I can now game, I can have some fun, I got the works, and I thought it was the best thing ever. And, this is 2 years later, and this is going to be my upgrade now. I'm tired of waiting on things to render and games lagging, so I went out and got me the MSI Z97a Gaming 7 motherboard, and I'm throwing in it the Intel Core i7 4790K 4-gig quad-core processor. That's a mouthful, but yeah, I cannot wait to get this all built and put together, but I need to get this thing ripped apart, so, we're going to use the same case. But as you can tell in here, I don't know if you can really see it too well, I'll just kind of give it a tilt back. The cable management I never ever did. I mean, it's horrible. So I'm going to definitely work on that. And because there is no cable management in this case, I've got tons of this stuff. So I will be able to at least make it look good. The wires will still be visible, but at least they'll look good. Okay, so let's get this thing ripped apart. This is a better view. You can see the wires right here. This is just wrong. Nobody should ever have a mess like that. I mean, I tried to keep it tucked under like this, just allow the air to flow through, but yeah, it's pretty ugly. So, yeah, let's do better this time. So, here's all the parts that we're going to be using. That's the brand new motherboard, and I'm still keeping my G-Skill memory from the old computer, and of course my GTX 660 SC graphics card. The MSI Z97a Gaming 7 motherboard is just so nice to look at. I mean, the aesthetics alone just make it so worth it. And this is the old MSI 790FX GD70 motherboard. And I'm gonna miss it. It's done very well. Memory and processor are both in. Now let's get the massive heatsink on this bad boy. So there's everything installed. You got the graphics card right there, of course, and right up here is the massive Corsair A70 cooler. Of course, it's blocking the memory, which you can't really see. It's right over here, but that's okay. I mean, nothing's touching, so we're not going to get any vibration issues. So now let's get some power to the graphics card real quick and get this thing booting to post. So the system's now on. It's actually quieter than my old setup, even though it's the same fans and everything. I think it's just the direction that fan on the CPU is going. But as you can tell right over here, we are booted to post, and everything seems to be working fine. It says 36 degrees Celsius on the CPU, 31 on the motherboard, and of course the case is still open, as you can see. But yeah, that's a good sign. Now, got to get the hard drives in, the CD-ROMs hooked up, and that's pretty much it. All the wires are in, everything is all hooked up, and this is the best cable management that I could pull off in this case. The case is not really made for cable management at all. Now, that being said, one day I will have to get a much better case, one that I can actually, hide the wires, maybe have a basement for the power supply. But yeah, that's pretty much it. But it is ready to go. All we got to do is throw an operating system on this thing and get it back up and running. Windows 10 is all installed, and all the drivers for the motherboard are installed, of course, for graphics card and everything else. Yeah, everything's ready to go. Got the recording software, as you can tell, because, well, I'm recording right now. And I did a couple pictures from the old motherboard, or old system, I should say, and that was CPU-Z. This way I can do a side-by-side comparison. And on the left side, you got the Phenom 2 running at 3200 megahertz, and on the right, which is the new system, is the i7 running at 4400 megahertz. It is overclocked. I just use the overclock genie for now until I learn how to do it, because I've never overclocked before. This is kind of a new thing for me. But yeah, it's
definitely a massive improvement. The biggest thing I was looking at that was kind of cool is the TDP went from 125 watts down to 88. So that means everything is going to be nice and cool. You know, I can actually overclock it and get a little more out of it. Now, I also ran MSI Combustor on both machines. And I know that's for graphics cards, but there's a little thing here you can actually see. In the physics score, the one for the old computer was at where'd it go? One for the old computer was 160,000 points at 304 frames per second. With the new system, I haven't changed the graphics card at all, but the physics score just went to 1.3 million points. Big increase with 461 frames per second. Now, as you can tell here, the graphics score didn't change, 46 frames per second on both of them. But when you come down to the FPS, right here where the average is, on the new one, 104, old one, 79. So just the processor and motherboard alone gave me that major increase in the averages. And minimum still was just really close, 24 and 25. And max is where it got its better average, because it could max out a lot more at 471 frames per second instead of 349 frames per second. So yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing. I'm really, really happy with the build. And another thing is I have to use a new editing software. I lost my Pinnacle Studio 12 CD, so I can't find it. I just can't find it anywhere. So I will be using a new software called HitFilm 3 Express. And it's going to be a learning curve, and watching this video, I actually used this program for the very first time to make my video.
Well, guys, this has been an extremely fun build, and I loved the fact that my lovely wife decided to help build this whole thing. She wanted to learn how to do computers, and so I've been teaching her this entire time. This has also been kind of a learning curve for me because it is way newer than what I'm used to. But what did you think of it, sweetie?
I love learning new stuff.
Yeah, it was actually really fun. We did it together, got all the things done, and I hope you guys had a good time too. So, yeah, thanks for kicking with us.
Thank you.